welcome to another video. Today it is my October lookbook, and in October I managed to sew 9 things in total. 3 knit projects, 1 ReFashion and 5 brand new pieces, and I am really over the moon with everything that I've got done. I didn't quite get through everything that I mentioned in my October plans. I still have the denim waistcoat, the Sorrento jacket, the cardamom and the Myosotis dress to do. They will get done. I'm planning on getting them done this month. And my November plans are smaller accordingly so that I have time to do those things as well, fingers crossed. But I wanted to show you as quickly as possible the things that I did get sewn in October, and I finished the last one on the 31st of October. Ooh, no, I finished the last one, the grey shirt, I finished it on the 1st of November, so I'm cheating just a little bit. So the first things that I got done were my Geeky jumpers, and I have done a video all about those if you want to see in more detail, so I'm going to very quickly go through them with you now. First is the Catrin jumper. I'm going to get this wrong. This is the Sue jumper from Shanklin patterns. It's made using a combination of French terries and a cotton jersey panel that I got from Made Whimsy. Everything that I can list and is still available will be linked in the description bar down below. I really like how this one has turned out. I haven't worn it yet, but I will be in the colder months because it is starting to get chilly now. But yeah, really pleased with this. Love this. Very happy with how it turned out, even though mistakes were made. Next up we have my stereo sweater, and this is by Misusu Patterns. Again, it's another Made Whimsy panel. I used the panel on these little sleeve details as well, and the rest is French terry from Lily and Mimi. Again, I love how this one has turned out. I will make this pattern again. They have got some hackable ideas on their website, which I will again link in the description down below, one of which is a zip up front, which I think I would really like. The only thing that I'm going to change for this one for next time is I'm going to make the waistband a little snugger to my body because that's my preference, but it won't stop me from wearing this one. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. It also, I'm not going to unpick it, make this waistband smaller and sew it back on because I've overlocked it, and just no, I don't want to unpick that. But I do love how this one has turned out. I think it's gorgeous and very happy with it. And then my final Geeky jumper is the Shanklin Patterns Catrin. This one is also made from a Made Whimsy panel and French terry from Lily and Mimi. It's a lovely slouchy sweater. The original was just not my favourite. It's not cropped at the waist. So I went through and cropped this and the Catrin this is the Catrin and the Sue jumper, added on waistbands, and they are much more my style now. I love how this has turned out. I will wear this. I have worn this out. Somebody did comment on it. It's like, oh, that's that guy from Game of Thrones, isn't it? It's like, yes it is. Very pleased with all 3 of these. So glad that I finally came up with an idea for making up these panels because I had them for the longest time and zero idea what to do with them, but I think they've worked out really well, so very pleased with that. Next up we have my By Hand London Brains and Beauty Alexandra Henry ReFashion. I made this dress back in 2016 and I made it for my then measurements, which I have outgrown and they no longer fit me. I've got a bunch of these dresses. I am thinking about going through and maybe turning some of them into skirts because I don't have any more fabric to remake bodices. But for this one I did have in just enough fabric, about 80 centimeters, to cut out this bodice. The back is not as perfect as I would like. I've got the same lady all the way around. That's fine, that's not a problem, and actually they're not too, you know, they've still got their heads intact, but there's no pattern matching down the centre back. I did not have enough fabric for that. I do have a whole video about my ReFashion of this dress, and I'm really pleased that I've done this because, as I've mentioned, I have a bunch of these kinds of dresses in my wardrobe. Just, they're in a box because they're all too small for me, and I love the idea of refashioning them into something that I will wear now. I have kept the original bodice. I have a box of 2 small bodices for me up in the sewing room up here, just out of shot. I will keep it because you never know, but I love the fact that I can now wear this dress, and I did wear it on Halloween to my pain clinic appointment. I probably won't wear it very often because it's quilting cotton and I much prefer wearing viscose and cotton lawn, but it is a really nice dress to have back in rotation in my wardrobe, and it will get worn sometimes. Now I can talk about my favourite makes from this month, and that is my 5 pieces from One Pattern collection. I'm wearing 2 of the pieces now. The first one is the dress that I'm wearing, this denim blue melange viscose that I got from the fabric room. Again, I'll list it down below. The only change that I've made to this one is I've added cuffs and a continuous lap to the sleeves. The pattern would have you leave these sleeves bell shaped at the bottom, and they are giant sleeves, so I would end up with them in absolutely everything. So I wanted to corral them into a cuff, and I'm really glad that I did. Then the second piece is this pinafore dress, which is exactly the same dress, just sleeveless, and I took off the Revere collar. So this part here, just didn't cut a collar for the corduroy dress, and then trimmed off this part of the dress so that I could wear things like this over it. I will also wear this pinafore with roll necks. I probably won't ever wear the pinafore by itself just because of the type of fabric it is. I have fully lined it in a very pretty, I think it was called Spectrum Blue viscose acetate blend lining from Lady McElroy. The gold corduroy is also a Lady McElroy fabric. It's called Renaissance and it comes in 3 colorways. Oh dear. But yeah, I am over the moon with this. I love how these two pieces have come out. I love the dress by itself, the blue dress by itself. I love it with the pinafore over the top. I am really excited to bring you guys this video. You're getting a sneak peek of all the pieces individually. I won't show you them all styled together until the 5 pieces from one pattern video comes out, which should be next weekend. But yeah, very happy with both of these pieces and cannot wait to start wearing them. I'm wondering if this would, I don't know. I'm doing a video at the moment like not being able to wear dresses for a month, and I can wear dresses if they are a layering piece, but both of these are dresses, so I'm wondering if that counts as, if that's like I've got 2 dresses on and that sort of like completely negates the experiment, or if because they're layering pieces it counts. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments down below. So the next piece from the 5-piece collection is my grey shirt. I'm going to go into way more details about why I picked these fabrics, although if you would like to see that, I did kind of feature it in this fabric haul video, which I think was August. Was it August? No, it was September. Yes, it was September. September's fabric haul. I was like, I'm not going to tell you many details about these fabrics because it's going to be in the video, and then proceeded to tell you all of the details. So this is the grey shirt. It's a viscose melange, which is the same type of fabric as the blue one that I'm wearing. I've made this into a shirt. It's 4 inches below the waist and then flared out so that it fits over my hips. This is the 3rd attempt that I've done at this type of a shirt. The first one was the coral one, then the cream one, and I've now got the grey one. This one fits me a lot better. The other two I kind of just didn't measure my high hips and guessed, and my hip, the difference between my waist and my high hip is 11 inches, 4 inches down. So yeah, I measured this time and adjusted the pattern accordingly. I really love how this has turned out. This shirt is always intended to be tucked into things, and that is one of the reasons that it's as short as it is. I tried doing something that was 2 inches below the waist, but it just came untucked the minute I moved, so I've gone to 4 inches, and that works really well for me because I can still move in it, but it will stay tucked into whatever I'm wearing it under. I am never going to want to not wear this tucked into things. I'm very pleased with how this one has come out, and I do genuinely absolutely adore these sleeves. If you did watch September's fabric haul, you will know that I was going to be using some green gingham to go with this pinafore dress. I kept going back and forwards on what I wanted to do with the shirt because I really wanted to show you guys a tie front shirt from this pattern, because that is an alteration that I have made. But the gingham to me was just really reading very summery, and I either wanted to make the shirt sleeveless or short sleeved, and given the season, it's now winter, it's November. No, I think November's still classed as autumn, isn't it? When does the winter start? But yeah, it's cold, so it just seemed a bit daft to be making a short sleeve shirt. So then I was going to make a straight sleeve shirt with a cuff that could be rolled back so that it would look good tied at the front, and it all just kind of like, I just couldn't get my head around what I wanted to do with the gingham. So I did a stripe instead. This looks great with this print, and this fabric is actually a chambray that our neighbour has destashed. So she's been destashing a bunch of stuff. I got some gorgeous purple silk, and I also got this striped chambray. I had just enough to do the straight sleeved shirt with this one. I think I have made the shirt sleeves slightly too short. I was a bit worried about making them too long and having them look a bit odd, because whilst these ones blouse over the cuff and I really like that, I didn't want that from these ones. I could unpick the cuff, sew the cuff back on with a smaller seam allowance to give myself that extra. I think I need like a 1/2 inch, and I could get that out of these sleeves. Will I do that? Probably not. Will I wear this with the sleeves rolled up? Probably, most of the time. This is actually kind of surprisingly itchy. It is 100% cotton, but it isn't as smooth and soft as the viscose. As I mentioned earlier, I'm getting very used to wearing viscose and cotton lawn, so whilst I love this, and I did ignore my own advice, if you've watched the rules video you know what I mean, I played with the grain line, so we've got cross grain here and straight of grain here, and I really liked that. I also didn't want to have to worry about matching up the stripes, but it ended up not being too difficult. I mean, I didn't even attempt it on the inside, so they're not perfect, but I could have done it. But I thought cross grain and straight of grain, so ignoring my own advice or my own rules of not mixing your grain lines. But when it comes to stripes and plaids and things like that, I think you can get some really good effects. Another thing I could have done would have been to chevron this, and I would have done if it was a slightly deeper yoke, but this yoke actually comes over the shoulder and down to the front, so I thought the cross grain stripes looked really nice. Again, this one is 4 inches below the natural waist. There's no drape in this fabric whatsoever. I didn't have enough to do the giant sleeves, but I did want a different variation on a sleeve as well. Again, I've added the cuff and the continuous lap to this one. The pattern would have you do the straight sleeve just ending with a cuff, and that is not my preference, so there are some tweaks been made to this. But yeah, very pleased with this, and I really love how it looks with the pinafore and with the skirt, which I shall show you now. This is the final piece. It is the denim skirt, and I have lined this skirt with, again, a viscose acetate blend. It's called Lotus lining from Lady McElroy, because I knew I was going to be wearing this skirt over things like this dress to give it kind of like a shirt and skirt look, so I wanted to make sure that it was nice and slippery and wouldn't get stuck to anything. Also, this is quite a thick denim, and I wanted to be able to wear this with tights. I do have petticoats and slips, and I do wear those most times, but they come to mid-thigh, so sometimes I'm definitely going to need to invest in a slightly longer petticoat so that my tights don't stick to my dresses in the winter months, because that has become a problem. 8577's looking at you. So yeah, I love this. The denim is a stretch denim, and it was gifted to me by the very, very lovely Claire. I've got 3 items out of it. As I say, I've only sewn the one so far. There's a waistcoat and a jacket to come. I'm so excited for the waistcoat. I think it's going to go in really well with this collection. But again, the collection, the 5 pieces was the priority this month. And yeah, I absolutely love how this has turned out. The only thing is I added side seams to the waistband, and lots of people say that you should do this because it makes alterations easier, and I do understand that, because you can just unpick the side seams and either let it out or take it in at those points. But oh my goodness, did that get bulky in this denim. I've clipped and trimmed my seam allowances as much as possible, but it is kind of bulky in that area, so that is the only thing I don't like about this skirt. The other thing is I made the waistband quite narrow. It's 1 inch wide, and the idea of trying to put a buttonhole in that filled me with dread, because I can just imagine that my buttonhole foot would get stuck on things and it would be a nightmare, so I didn't even bother. I've put on a faux button, and I've used a skirt hook and bar to fasten the waistband, and that works really, really well and is surprisingly comfortable. Really pleased with this. It goes so well with the collection that I have based around this pattern. But oh, it's the 9345. I don't know if I told you that. Probably I will have put the pictures up for you. It's also going to go really well with the rest of my wardrobe as well. I wear my denim 1743 skirt all the time, and it's going to be really nice to have a variation on that, especially as I am doing a separates month and I have been struggling quite a lot. So yeah, really pleased with this month's sewing. I love how everything has turned out. I'm sad that I didn't get the Sorrento jacket done, but that is going to be what I'm working on tomorrow and Sunday. And yeah, just can't wait to see how that comes out as well. But you will have to wait until, well, you're probably going to see it in one of the waffles, but you'll have to wait for the official lookbook at the end of November to see how that one properly turns out. So let me know in the comment section down below which is your favourite and why. I think it's this look, and this is obviously 2 pieces, but I really do love how this has turned out. I'm really pleased. This fabric was bought on a whim in the 50% off remnant sale that Lady McElroy did just after Christmas in 2021, and I'd seen it about, but I was just like, oh, what would I do with it? What would I do with it? And when it was a remnant anyway, so it was discounted, and then it was 50% off the discounted price. It was like, I will work out something to do with it, and I'm so pleased that I bought it because it's inspired such a lovely collection of pieces from one pattern. So I think this look is my favourite, but I do like all of them. I'd be interested to hear what you think as well. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!